As you know, we covered the Durban International Film Festival in June this year, and we were approached by Ramez Silyan, an American filmmaker who had a short film that was screened at the festival. Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to watch it at that time.
Or unfortunately, any short films, actually.
Yeah, actually, any short film. But he sent us the links, and we've had a chance to watch this amazing film called Animal, and we'd like to just tell you guys about it and give you our thoughts on the film.
So Animal tells the story of a guy trapped in a room with nothing but a machine that provides him with whatever it is that he needs at that particular moment in time. For me, I think I would have loved to have seen, to start off with a criticism, I would have loved to have seen more. I think there's a lot of room for development of the character, for his relationship with the machine, and even for the machine itself, remembering that machines often can take on their own personalities. So I would have enjoyed actually seeing more. It's only 10 minutes, and it didn't feel like 10 minutes. It felt much shorter than that, which for me is always a good indication of something that's intriguing or entertaining, or a good combination of the two of those. So I would have liked to see some more development, but I think a really cool idea and a very interesting twist that I feel like could have been explored more with as well. And then also what was really cool was I think it's an incredibly well shot film. I think the cinematography of this film is on a really good, strong level that you don't ordinarily see from short films or even feature-length films or documentaries at times. And I think kudos to Ramez, kudos to the actor, Chris. Both did an incredibly good job of putting together a thought-provoking movie that I would really like to see developed more if that's going to be the case.
I agree with Matt on most of his review of it. I think it was such a cool concept, and to think. At the first time I watched it, I thought, what would I have done in this situation? You immediately put yourself in that situation, and it's really, really scary to think about. I also liked the way it was shot, and I liked how the machine was looking at our main character. I agree that I would have wanted to see more, but for me, the more part of it would have been a little bit more about the character himself.
Yeah.
Because we got hints, that he might be a bit of a troubled guy from what the machine was giving him, the pills, the cigarettes, the alcohol, that type of thing. So it would have been interesting to know a bit more about his history, which I think lends itself to a very good feature film concept. Something similar to the first Saw movie where two men are trapped in the room, and then you just branch out and get to know how their stories interrelate and how they actually ended up in the situation. But once again, it was a short film, so the main thing is that it was thought-provoking, and
it achieved that goal.
It definitely achieved its goal as a short film, and it left you thinking. I had the opportunity of interviewing Ramez over Skype, and he answered a few of our questions. You can check out the interview here. What was the inspiration behind the idea for Animal, and what intrigued you to explore this concept about human nature?
I mean, I've always been extremely interested in kind of like human condition. That's something that everybody can relate to, kind of the given facts of everyone's life, regardless of where you're born or how you're born or, race, color, creed. Everyone kind of deals with the same sort of accepting their reality of existence. And the actual idea was born out of, I interned at this production company called the Directors Bureau in Los Angeles, and they had this like old, I want to say vending machine, but it was like this very, very archaic, like handmade little wooden box that had these little, items that you could pay for, and they were all really quirky, like a stamp that said like a poem stamp, or a lighter that had the logo of the production company, like really odd things that most people wouldn't really buy from a vending machine.
Right.
And one day I was told that it wasn't working correctly, and I had to figure out how to fix it with no manual, no existence of any sort of. I tried to Google it and everything, and there was nothing online about how to do this because it wasn't like a name brand
Mm.
product. So I basically had to just do trial and error, try to communicate with this machine. Yeah, I mean, it worked out, and then I created a manual, but through that process, I was like, well, this is kind of an interesting premise of like a human being trying to kind of understand like this new language, or like this machine language, you know?
So the machine is quite, it's a character on its own, basically.
Yeah.
And how did you choose which items the machine was going to give your main character?
Well, I kind of focused on kind of like necessities of like modern life, you know. So I, like, you know, it kind of opens with this him demanding, you know, like the effects of drugs, like the numbing effect of like kind of the way most people cope with you know the things in their life that they don't necessarily like. You know, as people drink, take drugs, and it starts off there, which is kind of like the pinnacle of like, I don't know if you consider that necessity, but you know, then it steps backwards a few times, like, you know, given food and clothing and the basic needs of survival that any animal would need if in captivity.
So, yeah, you'll see that in our review. We wanted more, which is good, but also...
Yeah. If anyone ever approached me and said, oh, we'd love to expand this, it'd be very hard for me to say no because, you know, that's an opportunity of a lifetime. Like, why wouldn't you want to create something more? I mean, I actually toyed with the idea of, like, making it a bit more of an art film in a sense of, like, imagine if the situation, I don't want to, not trying to spoil anything, but basically repeated itself over and over again for an hour and a half.
Right.
Like, fun, like, you know, what if every single time you saw this happen, there were little things that were different that kind of were cause and effect were rippled through these tiny decisions, you know, like, I love that concept. I mean, obviously Run Lola Run did it perfectly, but this is almost the opposite in a sense of Run Lola Run is high energy and, you know, it's about a relationship and, you know, it would kind of explore that same concept, but on the, on a personal, more solitary level.
Which films inspired your method regarding animals?
I guess I wouldn't say I'm directly inspired by Saw, but I was a huge fan of that when it came out, just because, I mean, it's achievement. But I mean, I'd say the biggest influences are kind of more on the sense of the, like, auteur filmmakers of, you know, the 70s and 80s. And some of them are still creating today, but, you know, big ones are like, my biggest kind of aesthetic reference is probably 2001: A Space Odyssey with the lighting. The huge fan of David Lynch and his sort of surreal perspectives of, like, I mean, I feel of any filmmaker on earth, he has created this alternate reality. You know, like, when you start watching his films, you think they're set in real life, and then you start realizing that this is his, like, world.
Yeah.
It's not look like ours, but it doesn't work like ours.
Right.
And
Where can viewers find out more about Animal, and where can they find out more about you?
I mean, I think the best place is really just social media. I mean, I have a website, but it doesn't really say that much about me. It just kind of has, like, links to, like, music videos, or there's a trailer for Animal. But yeah, social media, just find out about me just through what I post, I guess. And then as far as Animal, like, I personally will post things about it, but I also have created, like, separate social media for it.
So you've got a Twitter and Instagram for Animal, and Facebook as well.
I don't have a Facebook. I was thinking about it. I just don't use Facebook very often.
Okay.
So I feel like currently narratively, I just shot another short film that's actually being edited right now. We just got, like, a rough cut from the editor, and we're just kind of sitting on it, letting it percolate to see if we, you know, what decisions need to be made in the edit. And that's called Dog Food.
Dog Food, okay. Thanks for chatting to us, Ramez.
Yeah.
Good luck with the rest of your filming. We hope you enjoyed that little clip, and thank you, Ramez, for getting in touch with us. We're so happy to just be able to watch your film and, you know, be able to chat to you about your thought process and your methods. And we hope you enjoyed our review. So thanks for watching. I'm Talia,
I'm Matthew.
and this has been the Critics Review of short film Animal.